Hey there, it's John from Living the Music. Welcome to the video. Today we're looking at Slow Train Coming by the great Bob Dylan. We're going to focus on the title track of this album, Slow Train Coming. This came out in 1979, and as usual, there's a ton to glean from this, not only musically and just as a fan to enjoy, aesthetically you could say, but also there's a message in here that is well worth paying attention to even in 2025 and beyond. Now, this was Bob's first in a trilogy of basically born-again Christian albums. I'm not a Christian, although I was brought up one. I have a soft spot for those albums. I don't know why. I think there is great songwriting on there and good performances. I think I also just, I sometimes gravitate towards the passion of an artist when he or she goes through a phase like this where, they're all in on some belief system. It may be one that I agree with or disagree with, but he was invested in it. And there's something about his vulnerability and his willingness to just not hide from it and share it with the world that I think is cool. Now, did he get preachy on some of the songs? You could say that. But again, he brings a lot of enthusiasm to it. And by the time you get to the third album, Shot of Love, some of it has nothing to do with Christian themes. Actually, it's just it's like sort of half and half. But anyway, this song in particular, Slow Train Coming, it may have a Christian undertone, but it's really a commentary on humanity and especially modern life, if you will, and the sort of the international mess that we've gotten into. So a lot to get from this, a lot to look at, a lot to focus on. So diving into this, we don't have time. As usual, he's very verbose and it's a fancy way of saying there's a lot of words in this song. But just starting with the refrain, there's a slow train coming up around the bend. Just think about that imagery. I always think that's so cool. It's like you're trying to say something about impending disaster, impending doom, problems on the horizon. But to just say it like that, it's not art necessarily. But to think of an image of that slow train coming up around the bend, it's really, it's powerful. It's a powerful image. And before you hear it in this song, before you hear it put into this kind of a context, you may have not ever thought of any kind of sort of foreboding in watching a train come around the bend. But now that he puts it here and he's, sings it the way he sings it, boy, I don't know if I'll ever look at a train coming around the bend in the same way again. It's like what does this portend? It's probably not good. Be on the lookout. So he goes into some kind of commentary on how we're operating as Americans and in the world itself, and I think it's quite interesting how he puts in this commentary within a quote unquote pop song, but he's really getting very specific and quite deep. So there's one verse here in particular I think is really cool. He says, "All that foreign oil controlling American soil. Look around you, it's just bound to make you embarrassed. Sheiks walking around like kings, wearing fancy jewels and nose rings, deciding America's future from Amsterdam and to Paris. Isn't that, I mean, can you believe this? This is 1979. I'm sure this idea was raging back then, but I'm not so sure anything has changed. I'm not, I don't have the answer. I guess I'm not outraged by it in the same way he was, and maybe I should be. But if nothing else, I think it's interesting that what is it now, 50-some plus years later, and it's not really changed. So he was pointing to something endemic. Man's ego's inflated. His laws are outdated. They don't apply no more. You can't rely no more to be standing around waiting. In the home of the brave, Jefferson turning over in his grave, fools glorifying themselves, trying to manipulate Satan. Big-time negotiators, false healers and woman haters, masters of the bluff and masters of the proposition. Great lyrics, I mean, come on. But the enemy I see wears a cloak of decency. All non-believers and man-stealers talking in the name of religion. Well, I mean, yeah, so that's pretty cool that here he is, a born-again Christian, but he's pointing the finger at these masters of bluff and masters of the proposition wearing a cloak of decency, talking in the name of religion. I don't know if he's speaking to those televangelists or even politicians who invoke religion when it suits them. But I'm with him there on that critique for sure. People starving and thirsting, grain elevators are bursting. You know, it costs more to store the food than it do to give it. Let's stop and ponder that. Yeah, I remember hearing this in the 80s. People were talking about this, how we have an abundance of food. America itself grows a lot of food. And yet, because of, marketplace factors or trade issues, distribution issues, a lot of this food probably still is going uneaten. It's like unused. It rots. That is disgusting. That really does boil your insides when you think about it. And it's like here we are in the first world, so to speak, or developed world, and most of us would like to think we're insulated and we're not deprived, but as we know, a hell of a lot of the world is deprived in a massive degree, and it's sad that we don't have the will as not just a country but as a species to make sure that nobody's starving, especially when we have enough. All right. They say, lose your inhibitions, follow your own ambitions. They talk about a life of brotherly love. Show me someone who knows how to live it. Yeah. My baby went to Illinois with some bad-talking boys she could destroy. A real suicide case, but there was nothing I could do to stop it. I don't care about economy. I don't care about astronomy. But it sure do bother me to see my loved ones turning into puppets. It's just genius. I mean, he goes from this macro picture down into the micro of his own life and someone he knows, making it very specific. The bad choices people make that you could see coming, and you can see disaster looming, like the slow train coming around the bend. But you can't stop it, so there you have it. I guess there's not as I didn't read all the lyrics, but it's not his most verbose of all time. I suppose it's relatively speaking somewhat compact, but it packs a powerful punch, and I just love the critique. I love the specificity. I love the thought-provokingness of it, and I thought it was worth pointing you toward to go listen to this, to think about it, and do we have to derive a particular lesson? Not necessarily, but I think there's a lot of potential lessons here, and I guess I'll leave you with this. What's the slow train coming around that bend for us as a nation, for you and I as individuals, for the companies we work for the families we're in? Worth paying attention, right? Worth paying attention before it gets here, and then it's too late to do anything about it. So, thanks for watching. Go listen to some Dylan and Slow Train Coming. I think you'll dig the whole album. It's just really, really good album. Despite it doesn't even really matter what if there's a Christian focus to some of it. It's good songwriting and great performances. Please like this video. Please give us a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Love to have you aboard. Take care till the next time.